When is an air fryer not an air fryer? Everything these days that cooks seems to be sold with an air fryer function. And this HYSapientia worktop oven is one of those appliances, sold with bold promises of energy and time saving. But if you buy it, is it really going to deliver the air fryer experience? In this video, I'll show you how it works, shatter some myths about capacity, see how its energy use compares to the competition, and let you know about the one feature that might be a deal breaker for you. HYSapientia are a Chinese manufacturer that make a small range of worktop ovens. I always do a little bit of poking around with a new manufacturer to try and find out a bit about them. And there's a few things that are a bit odd about this brand. Their website is really out of date. The front page is still advertising Christmas promotions, and their copyright hasn't been updated since 2023. Their social media accounts are a little bit weird, and some of the translations in the instruction book are pretty poor. But that aside, let's have a look at the appliance. This model is their 24-litre 10-in-1 Rotisserie Air Fryer Oven. It has 10 presets, which I'll talk you through in a minute, which is where I presume the 10-in-1 part of the title comes from. Its dimensions are approximately 37.5 by 41.4 by 37.5 centimetres, and it requires 5 to 10 centimetres clearance at the back and above it to let air circulate. The accessories are all dishwasher safe and almost entirely stainless steel, with the exception of the bake tray, which has a non-stick coating. Also in the box there's a crumb tray which goes in the base of the oven rack, what they call a fetch rack, which helps you lift the oven rack out, air fryer basket, rotisserie set, a manual, a cookbook, which miraculously does have English measurements in it, and a single silicone oven glove, which my husband was incapable of using without pretending that it was a hand puppet. You can also buy additional accessories, including a panini maker mould, kebab rotary rack, rolling grill basket, and pizza baking tray, all of which are under £20 each. Inside the oven, there are heating elements top and bottom, but unusually the heating elements are linear and not coiled. Now, I'm not an engineer, but I know enough to know that heating elements are usually coiled for a good reason, which is to maximise heat transference. And so this setup is a little bit unusual. On the plus side, it does make the inside very easy to clean because you haven't got any awkward shapes to try and clean round. Another big advantage of this model is the buttons and control panel, which are really bold and clear. To operate the oven, you turn it on and then pick one of the 10 presets to cook with. You can then alter the time and temperature by selecting the relevant button and then turning the dial. The 10 presets are for toast, bake, fish, dehydrate, grill, air fry, unfreeze, steak, pizza, and rotisserie. Those presets all have different times, temperatures, and also one of 2 different fan speeds. There's a table in the instruction book that tells you which fan speed each preset is, and once it's running, you'll be able to see a single small fan icon displayed if the program is running at low speed, and the small and large fan icons displayed if it's running at high speed. You can use the fan button on the control panel to toggle between fan speeds, but only if you're using one of the 2 presets with a low fan speed. If you're using one with a high fan speed, you can't alter it to low. There's also an internal light which you can turn on the control panel, and it will turn off automatically after 60 seconds. Coming up, I'm going to talk about energy use, the real capacity of this model, which isn't what's advertised, cooking results, and the sounds it makes. But quickly, before I do that, if you're new to this channel, please do consider subscribing. This is the only UK-based channel doing weekly videos about home appliances, and every subscriber really does help. And if you found this video useful so far, hit the thumbs up as well. HYSapientia claim this model is 24-litre capacity, but as I've mentioned before, there's a lot of smoke and mirrors that goes on with figures that are quoted for air fryer capacity. And if you measure the inside of this model, the real internal volume is closer to 19 litres. And you can't actually fit both drawers of Ninja's 9.5-litre Foodie Dual Zone Max inside it. So although they talk a lot in the product information about how this model is for a big family, you would actually have less capacity if you tried to upgrade from your Ninja to it. So if you're planning to cook a chicken in it, the rotisserie is pretty easy to set up once you work out which end of the rack goes into which side of the oven. I cooked a 1.7 kilogram chicken in it, which is broadly the same as I've managed to fit into most of the air fryers that I've tested. The preset on this oven is set up for 180 Celsius for 45 minutes, which was about right for this chicken. It looks really impressive when it's rotating and cooking, and obviously it's quicker than a conventional oven. But there's a lot of cleaning up involved afterwards, and I didn't think the results were significantly better than when I cooked a chicken in a drawer air fryer. I also put the HYSapientia through its paces with pizza, bacon, chips, sausages, garlic bread, lasagna and roasted vegetables. Because of all the multiple trays that are included with this model, you can cook different dishes on different layers, but of course you can't cook two things at different temperatures like you would be able to do in a dual zone. There were no disasters with anything I cooked, but I did find some things, particularly the fries, did seem to take longer than in other air fryers, and it used a lot of energy, 0.249 kilowatt hours on my 10-minute energy test. Only the Cosori Twin Fry and both drawers of Ninja's AF400 used more energy, and unlike those models, you'll never have the option to run it at half capacity. Part of its high energy use may be down to poor insulation. I recently did a video that's linked below where I talked about some of the differences between cheap and expensive air fryers. And one of the things I flagged up is that cheaper brands can sometimes lack insulation. This oven has several labels on it warning that it can get hot to the touch, which would suggest that it's losing a lot of heat and energy and may not be well insulated. Another downside of this oven, which may be a deal breaker for some of you, is the pinging. It pings all the time with every button press and every turn of the dial, and there is no way to turn it off. I'm pretty immune to the annoyance of pinging due to being around air fryers a lot, but this oven did actually drive me crazy. And I call it an oven, the manufacturers call it an air fryer. It's often hard to find out where that line is between an air fryer and a worktop oven, but for me, this is definitely the latter, which is fine if that's what you're looking for, but it's not as fast or as energy efficient as it could be, and you lose some of the simplicity that I love about air fryers because there are so many accessories that you need to store or swap in and out. So let me know what you think in the comments, and make sure you check out the description as well for any corrections if there are any, links to purchase and details on how you can help choose some of the appliances I review on this channel. And also, if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe.